In the last episode of the Cheap Sled Challenge, we all took our less than premium units for their first test rides. Unsurprisingly, we encountered many issues. Jake's Arctic Cat had to be towed due to what was suspected to be a bad stator, Mike's Summit was absolutely gutless, and my Enticer had some rather profound bogging issues that did get a little bit better by leaning out the needle clip adjustment. Dave's Ski-Doo Scout and Colton's VMAX 600 both absolutely ripped without any problems. The plan for this episode is to replace the Stator and the Cat, tune my Enticer, and test these units once again to make sure that they're ready for an overnight backcountry excursion. While we were waiting for Jake's Stator to arrive, I put some smaller main jets in the Enticer, and me and Dave decided to take it and the Scout for a little test ride to make some fresh tracks.
See, this is what I did last time.
How can one little stream swallow so many lives? Chances run, nothing's free. Longing for used to be. Still it's hard to see. Fragile lives, shattered dreams.
Holy crap. This thing's twice, if not 3 times the work. Yeah. I'm not any better.
We learned a couple things on this ride. 1, my Enticer still bogs and needs more work. And 2, Dave's a better sledder than I am, but we could both probably benefit from some talent. Alright, we got a brand new Stator here from eBay. Now we're going to throw this bad boy in the sled. Hopefully we don't need to pull the motor or nothing. Looks like we can get it, so let's make this an Arctic Cat, not an Arctic Can't. We're good. Alright, there's our old Stator, which, I mean, visual inspections were kind of stupid. Doesn't look too bad, not surprising. Alright, new Stator. Does it still run? First pull. Almost. Frick!
Well, simply just take the engine out again.
Turns over nice.
Yeah, we got good spark.
Ooh, better than before.
Yeah, way better than before. Jake had gotten a fairly inexpensive Stator, and when we installed it, we noticed that the timing marks on it were nowhere near the timing marks on the old one. We made the decision to just clock the new Stator how the old one was installed and ignore the timing marks. Now, obviously, the sled didn't run, so we can assume that this probably wasn't the right call. It was getting late, and we didn't feel like tearing it down again, so we decided to leave the Arctic Cat to sit for another day.
All right, so I was doing some work on this the other day to try to fix my bog issue. And I ended up cleaning out and adjusting my chokes because they had some gunk in them. And since I've done that, it's been way harder to start cold, but seems to run better. So I think I had a stuck choke. And also made this air box for this because these carbs were originally jetted with an air box, and these float vents were vented into the air box for atmospheric pressure reasons. So all that's going to affect jetting. So now that I cleaned up my chokes and I'm hooking up this air box, I'm going to go back to the factory jetting as a baseline and then tune from there.
Conventional wisdom would tell us that removing an airbox from something would make the jetting too lean. However, I had learned that because these float bowl vents went into the airbox, removing the airbox would actually make the jetting too rich because the fuel would flow through the main jet quicker, or at least that's my understanding of it. So with me reinstalling the airbox, I went back to the stock jetting so that I didn't lean this out too much because I really don't want to melt another piston.
So my ski runners here are pretty well junk. And you can buy them at Dennis Kirk for like $50. Or you can make them from some rod and some random nuts and bolts from the hardware store. And I got both sides worth of material for $20. So we're going to save many tens of dollars by using hundreds of dollars worth of tools. Are you winning, son?
I was just about to leave.
We went back to the Arctic Cat with the plan of following the new timing marks and ignoring where it was clocked originally. Ultimately, the proper way to do this would be to follow the timing procedure in the manual. I couldn't find any literature for this sled, so if somebody knows the timing specs, please leave us a comment.
In somewhere.
I call China stuff art. When you get a carburetor from China, it's like, oh, it's a nice piece of art. You hang it on the wall. Oh, it's beautiful. It doesn't function.
No.
I got one carburetor. The slide didn't even go up and down. It's like, okay.
Holy.
Okay, well, we're here.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, so we'll clock that differently.
Let it get
Yeah,
off
he's-
and ride it.
Great.
Can you go hold the clutch?
Nope.
Yeah. Yak!
Okay.
You heard a yak.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Maybe you're right anywhere. No, I don't think so. Okay.
All right. It's going to run. I got a good feeling. Manifest. Let's run. One. Let's go. Okay, let's buzz it together quick.
You hear how crisp that was?
Yeah, that's a little worrying. It might be still a little too advanced.
That should be fine.
$600, eh? Yeah, well, it's probably smart to have a support vehicle. Yeah, I'm gonna go find Dave. You already died? Well, it's still running. How does it run? Bad?
It's got way more power than before.
Hey, nice.
So that's a little scary.
That's a good sign, though.
That's scary.
Nice.
Well, it's like.
Yeah, we still might be a little off, but.
Two-stroke power band, man. Yeah. It's a lot less linear than before. Yeah. Well,
We'll have Colton bring up the rear.
Sure.
Or I'll race him. He's going to be jealous of this.
No. When he got to us, he was going good.
Yeah, we were moving pretty good there, Dave. So we did not fix it.
Nope. I forfeit the challenge.
Oh.
It's hard to tell this on video, but Jake's sled didn't get anywhere near as far on this ride before it died as it did previously.
Personally, it seems to me like the coil. Yeah. Like the Stator might have been making weak spark, but it was making spark.
Well, let's take a look at the plugs quick. Like, that's dry.
Yeah. True.
So maybe it's still fuel related. Here, give me 1 sec. Real mechanics come prepared. Right? I wonder if we got like a sticky float or something. Okay, try it. I bet we got a sticky float, man. I bet he just has a stuck float. You got the can? Where? Okay, rev it up. You for sure have a stuck float. Okay, just run it. Go, go. Don't even bother. Just go. What? You're not allowed to quit, Jake.
Are you on fish?
You know, we've gone out twice with good sleds, and both times I end up towing.
With Jake's issues now suddenly pointing to a sticky float instead of an electrical problem, and it only being able to run for like 500 feet at a time, we decided to just tow him back to the truck.
Well, Jake, Bummer.
That's a drag.
Yo, he might.
Seems to be what it is.
He might.
With Jake safely back at the truck, me and Dave on our budget sleds, and Colton on his not-so-budget sled, decided to eke out a ride and try and find ourselves some fresh tracks. My sled ran awesome up until this happened.
Oh, classic. And now it's dead. Mine died right here. This is what it was doing last time. Maybe I'm getting that VMAX on Facebook. Oh, it's not a race, man. See, these are the last 3 rides I've had to adjust the needle clip.
Yeah.
I'm thinking unless it gets real cold,
Yeah.
I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
It's still boggy as heck. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't even get enough air. There's a creek.
I'll try and make a nice path.
Yeah, try your best. I think this is what most vintage guys are doing.
My sled was still a bogger on this trail, but with Colton up ahead breaking trail, I eventually realized that the technique was to feather the throttle until I got it up in the power band.
Oh no! Colton! Oh. Oh!
Despite my performance issues, we were still pretty pumped with how these old sleds were doing on this trail. It was deep, soft, and honestly, I haven't seen a lot of videos of vintage sleds riding this kind of terrain.
Get it on the pipe, and then you can't slow down because they can't rev up. Yeah. Man, I should have bought the Scout.
I'm sure some of you have been watching this video banging your head into the wall, watching me adjust carburetors and not looking at my clutching or gearing. Ultimately, on this ride, I did come to the conclusion that my problem certainly ran deeper than fueling, and that I need to gear this sled down and do some work to the clutching. Nonetheless, to confirm that theory, I decided to pull the float vents out of the airbox, which should in theory richen up the sled, and see if my problem continued or if that made it better or worse.
Let's put in some fresh plugs. Oh yeah. Black, black, black. Alright, that's fresh plugs, so I guess I'll throw those hoses in, eh? That's crazy.
If there's one lesson to take away from this, it's relatively easy to throw random tracks and skids and motors into different sleds. It's a lot harder to actually make everything work together properly.
Now I'm curious what my plugs look like after that. Super lean. Maybe I should put the clip back quick.
Yeah, you could.
It's a quick.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm in a rush.
I don't want to blow this up. I already did that once. There's two things I've put holes and pistons on. This sled with the old motor and the DT. But that's crazy that it went from
Wow. Rich to lean.
so rich it wouldn't run.
Knowing that jetting really didn't seem to affect my bog much, I decided to order some gearing to make it lower, as well as a stiffer primary clutch spring to increase my engagement RPM. Unfortunately for me though, neither one of those parts was going to arrive prior to our 24-hour challenge, so I ended up having to get creative.
Well, she's a hell of a trail sled.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite a mountain sled.
All right, cheap sled challenge is in a day. Down to the wire for us. Trying to get Jake's sled going. I'm gonna go all out on this. Did some carb tuning, adjusted the floats. Hopefully that solves some flooding issues. Gonna reclock the secondary clutch here, drill a new hole for the spring. Got some brake shoes, that's unrelated. Then another theory about my bogging is my muffler here. Where it comes out, kind of faces forward, so wondering if that's filling up with snow, so we're going to cut that flush, put a little kind of guard there, hopefully that helps. Let's get to it. Dave and Jake had spent some time trying to figure out the Arctic hat. They took the carb apart and the float looked clean and seemed to work properly when they blew some air through it.
What the heck? I wonder if we just got a sticky float.
Well,
Yeah, it could
that's
be.
an issue.
So what did you guys do when you took out the float? Did you clean it really good? And
Oh yeah, everything's clean and everything. Now the only thing I noticed was the needle, the edges of it. I think it's got 3 edges on it there. Were a little bit rough.
oh yeah,
So like it could catch.
I bet.
if it was a little bit cocked.
Why don't we take out the float valve, hit it with a little bit of sandpaper there?
I was thinking to do that.
Because where it seals is on the tip.
Oh, I know.
Well, Dave and Jake took apart his carburetor. Once again, I got to work on pulling apart my secondary clutch.
Anyway,
A couple laps. This belt is not looking
it looks like it's coming apart there.
Yeah, this belt's seen some action, so which is fair because that could be part of my problem.
You cook on the wood stove, but to make coffee, it's nice to have a little.
Yeah, that's true.
It won't fit quite as tight in the,
No, but it
in
should
the,
still work.
cylinder, but you think it should work.
The boys found some rather pronounced grooves on the float valve. I tried to get a picture of it, but I could not get it to focus. But nonetheless, they filed them down. We put the car back together, and we decided to see how long the sled would run for.
Oh, it's ran for a while. We got a winner, I hope.
I'm not too confident.
Oh, come on.
Back on my secondary clutch, increasing the spring preload should allow the snowmobile to rev up a bit more before the clutch upshifts. Ultimately, I didn't expect this to do a whole lot, but it was worth a try while I was waiting for my parts to come in. All right, got that storage capacity, extra big tank. Pack up the camping gear right there. Should be good. The sled ran for like 20 minutes. Hopefully it's fixed. We'll find out tomorrow. And hopefully they can fix the ski-doo. Bombardier always runs. It was a total mad scramble to get these sleds ready for our excursion. On Mike's sled, they were working on unsticking the brake caliper and figuring out why it was gutless. Turned out it just had a fouled plug, so it was an easy fix. On my Enticer, even though I ruled out that the carbs weren't the true cause of my issues, I did clean them once again, and I did discover that my float height was a bit off, so that could have been contributing to why it died when I went over that mound last time. Maybe it just flooded out. Ultimately, I figured adjusting them and syncing them up with a drill bit wasn't going to hurt anything. Gear. Let's do this thing. Oh crap!